Hello, everyone. Hey, listen, that's my bad. Let me tell you what happened before I even get into this intro copy. One, Zoom woke up this morning and chose violence. Hard stop. Bucho, that's for you. It woke up, it chose violence, and I struggled ever since. And then Hedge told me on the front end of this stream, hey, I'm at school. I'm not going to be able to start until 2:45. And then I sent out marketing to say, we're going to start at 2:30. That's my bad. I love y'all. Thank you for your patience. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the symphony. I wonder if they can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Stream, chat. Can y'all tell me whether you guys can actually hear me? You can hear me, hot pants. Here we go. Thank you so much. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the Symphony. Symphony Entertainment, Gaming and Arts is my gaming company that focuses on horror systems, indie games, organic content, and player agency in an attempt to bring a symphonic approach to horror role-playing. I am your host, Bridget Jeffries, but tonight I will not be serving as your keeper of arcane lore. That's because we here at Symphony are debuting a brand new segment called Cross the Strings. And in this segment, and thank you, Bucho, again for the sexy background that you made for us, Symphony is going to be hosting other gaming clubs, companies, publishers to showcase their talent, promote their product, and more. So if you'd like to join the next Cross the Strings, feel free to drop us a line on social media or email us at Symphony Entertainment, GA, that's the gaming and arts, so golf alpha, at gmail.com. I am so humbled and so thoroughly delighted to welcome the Miskatonic Playhouse to the Symphony. I will allow them to introduce themselves in just a moment. I do want to give you guys a heads up. Tonight we will be playing through a custom scenario that's going to be led by our guest keeper, special guest keeper, A Newman of the Playhouse, inspired by his hometown, which is going to be featured in, or is featured in, the Hometown Horrors Volume 2. Now, y'all know I suck with handouts. Let's see if I can make this appear. Ha! I did a thing! Yes! Yes.
Oh, right.
Hometown Horrors 2 is the sequel to, wait for it, Hometown Horrors 1, a silver bestseller on the Miskatonic repository. Basically what this is, it's a collection of multiple collaborators that come together and discuss the uncanny, the astonishing, the unwholesome, and the terrifying things about their hometowns. This was organized by a community leader, cheerleader, and just amazing project manager, Evan Perlman, which I particularly love this product. One, because Alex G put his foot into the covers and the layout. But two, Evan took the time to get a wide range of creators to help support this. So there are veteran creators who have all type of content on the Miskatonic repository that are bestsellers, that are professional authors, all the way down to I literally have never written anything to be published in my life. And this is all swept through editing. It's all formatted beautifully. And these are available on DriveThru RPG right now through the Miskatonic repository. So Evan and all the contributors, Alex, congratulations. This is your second round going, and it is a beautiful, wonderful project that is such a blessing to the community. Last couple of announcements, and I'm going to sit down and shut up, I promise. I know I'm already late. Tonight, we are giving away a gaggle of fun stuff. About 30 seconds before we went live, the Playhouse all agreed to give away free content. So we're going to be looking at, I'm actually not even going to waste my time listening. I'm going to let them list it when they do their introductions. But you have to be a follower of the channel, and you need to put in bang, ! Hometown, I believe. And that will get you one of 4 different free content. So hometown, be a follower of the channel, and get all type of sexy stuff from the Hometown Horrors Volume 2 to some new stuff that possibly isn't even out yet. Last and finally, Symphony Entertainment does have a Patreon. So if you would like to help us make more content like this, please consider going on a Patreon at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. I have reviewed content warnings with the cast and crew. They understand that the X card is in play. X's can be sent to Newman in Zoom, private message, text message, carrier pigeon, however you guys communicate on that side of the ocean. I'm going to attempt to do it in Zoom if I don't break the overlay. Again, X card is in play. No judgment passed. No questions asked. So without further ado, let me get the hell out of my way and give the floor. I'm so sorry. I should be giving the stage to Newman. Newman, the show is yours, baby. I am out of here and I am ready to play.
All right. Well, thank you, Bridget, and thank you so much for having us on here, having the Playhouse come here. We had a literal virtual fight to see who was going to be able to come on and be here today. And it turns out that Cosmic and Hedge won. They're very dirty fighters, but we like that. I think that's fantastic. Okay, so we are here from the Miskatonic Playhouse, and for those of you who don't know the Miskatonic Playhouse, we are. What are we? We are a fantastic force of nature with the absolute desire to make sure that every community scenario on Drive Through RPG gets played, gets heard, gets its absolute fair dues at being given given an opportunity so that everybody in the community can see it. We like to to ring those bells. We like to kind of drive people to it. So yeah, check us out. You can check us out at www.miskatonicplayhouse.com, where you can see our page, who we are, links to our YouTube channel, links to our podcast, and our Discord, where you can jump in and kind of have a chat with us as well. And we have been very lucky that people like Bridget have been there since day dot, basically just kind of going, "Go on, guys, you can do it." And we've been going, "Oh, turns out we kind of can. This is cool." So yeah, here we are. I am, as Bridget mentioned, T.A. Newman, although I did just have like a massive instinct to say I am Batman, but that's not the case. I don't know where that came from. I am T.A. Newman, and I am very, very lucky, and I am very aware of this, very lucky to be the host of the Miskatonic Playhouse. So I get to shout out their stuff all the time, which is really cool. Sorry, just seen Evan posting about Batman. It's really distracting me. Thank you, Evan, because yes, you're right. I'm very, very lucky to be the host of the Playhouse because I get to do stuff like this. But I'm also a writer within the community because we are at the Playhouse all members of the community. I've got 3 scenarios. I've got a couple that are print on demand. I mean, one that's print on demand and one that's about to be print on demand, which is absolutely fantastic. And I've got a third one, which is flying through the ranks, which I'm really, really excited about. And hopefully we are, Bridget, tell me if I'm wrong, Be My Valentine, which is my third scenario, is going to be a giveaway this evening.
It sure is.
Yeah, so we'd like to throw that out to somebody. But what I'm going to do is move you on quickly to someone who's much more interesting than me, and then after that, someone who's much more interesting than Hedge. But we'll start with Hedge. Hedge, over to you.
Hi, my name is John Hedge. I'm a parkour coach, but in my spare time, I'm an author and a writer, and I'm the backstage manager over at the Miskatonic Playhouse. So my job is to sit behind Newman and then hit him with a big stick when he does things wrong, which is regularly.
Yeah.
But then blame him when things go wrong and then take all the credit when things go well.
Good strategy.
It's a good strategy. It's been working so far as well. No, I'm kind of the glue. I make things work. I make people talk to each other. I solve problems. But it's very difficult to tell exactly what I do. And then I wrote a stupid scenario called Alpaca in the Sheep Field and actually made it a running joke in the Symphony Entertainment. And this evening, I'm going to be giving away my third scenario, which is my longer scenario called Secrets of the Glen, which is really, really enjoyable, slightly longer, more interesting mystery that I wrote and published earlier this year. And now I'm going to hand to my good friend and regular playing partner, Cosmic.
Hey folks, I am Cosmic, and I'm also part of the Miskatonic Playhouse. I do lots of things related to audio. Mainly, I get to play with the lovely tools that Sirenscape put out and make things sound all spooky and really good fun. It's a bit of a quick turnaround, so we have to just go through and make it as best as we can. You might have noticed that I'm slightly dyslexic. When I say that's my brain trying to think of something clever to say to you, so you will have to excuse me for that one. I also do character creation videos, or done one, over at rollforsanity.com. That's a number 4, roll4sanity.com. And we have a very special video coming out tomorrow, the second character creation video for a character who's tomorrow when everything launches is going to be very topical, shall we say. And
are there things launching tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure. There might be something. I don't know. But
I wonder if we've got anything coming out tomorrow.
Hey, maybe we should swing past www.miskatonicplayhouse.com.
Tomorrow would be a good idea. Yeah. A good idea tomorrow. Yeah.
So thank you.
And this is how I discovered that I had to update the website. Thank you, guys.
You're
We
welcome.
thought we'd message you, but we just thought this would be easier if we just told you now. Then it's just there, isn't it? It's
Live on
like,
Twitch. Yeah, that's just when you want to tell your backstage manager something like this.
it's like one of our monthly meetings, isn't it? It's just where's everybody else? Are they not coming to the meeting? This is weird. Oh, okay. Right then, let's play some Call of Cthulhu.
Hey.
So we are absolutely celebrating Evan's fantastic work, and I'm going to echo what Bridget says about Evan. He is a community scenario kind of collaborator. He's a leader on that. Absolutely superb, absolutely amazing work, because none of that would happen if it wasn't for Evan saying this is happening, who wants to be a part of it, get a part of it, and then organizing it every step of the way. So absolutely amazing, and we're going to celebrate that. My contribution to Hometown Horrors Volume 2 is Aberystwyth. It's absolutely wonderful to be going to Aberystwyth. And I do have quite a unique accent, which doesn't sound like it's from Aberystwyth. But that's because when I went to drama school, they beat it out of me. I'm not. Terribly. It's actually my family at home. Half of them speak Welsh and half of them speak with the Brummie accent. So I'm either talking to my mum that's going, "Right there, Thomas," or I'm speaking to my brother who's like, "Right there, mate. How's it going?" And I'm like, "Hello, everybody. Wonderful to be here." And they all just look at me like I'm crazy. So it's a unique environment, I'll say. We are in Aberystwyth, a wonderful, wonderful town that's known for, well, not much really, unless you actually live there and then you go, it's known for everything. It's amazing. It is a beautiful town. It's almost a valley which looks out to the ocean, and it has history. It does have history. We're going to find our players starting with a nice, gentle sea breeze in the air, and they're standing on Aberystwyth Pier. They're standing quite far down the pier at the end, and they're looking out over the sea. They've only just bumped into each other. It's an arranged meeting. You are arranged here because in about half an hour, you're going up to the top of Constitution Hill, which looks over the sea, as your friend Geraint Davies' ashes are going to be thrown into the ocean. So it's a sad occasion, but he lived a long, full life. You're standing on the pier, and as you walk along the pier, or as you walk along the pier to get where you're going, you see the wonderful glass pavilion that stands over the actual pier itself and gives this wonderful, almost mirror effect of the pier from the floor to the ocean. And you kind of have to walk through it. It's almost like a canopy that you walk through to get out through to the other side. And I'm going to ask you, I'll introduce you one by one as characters, but I'd like to ask you just to tell me what it is that you're doing before we start this reunion, shall we say. So, Alex D.D. Carter, Alex Deep Dive Carter. You're standing on the edge of the pier. You've got Joe Jockey Key, which is a great nickname. I'm just going to say that now. Jockey.
That is a great nickname.
Jockey. I'll probably have to explain that a few times. It's difficult. It's a hard one. So Hedge is playing Alex. You're standing at the pier. Bridget's playing Joe. And we're going to have Cosmic walking over in a minute as Gwynfer. Hedge, as Alex, what are you doing?
So Alex is wearing a bright yellow cagoule, which is reeks of a mixture of strong mint and tobacco. When he's not smoking a soggy roll up, he's chewing mint. And he has a cup of tea in his hand and a cigarette in his mouth. And he's looking over the waves. And he's not really paid much attention to Jockey because he's too busy just sort of lost in his own thoughts. He's not slow, but he takes his time. You know, the thing about being a diver is that if you're not careful, you're dead. Those are really your only two options. And so Dee Dee's always just been a bit slower when making decisions. And so he's just going to let Jockey talk. That's what he does.
Jockey, you are there. You are enjoying a moment of silence. Very familiar when you're around Dee Dee. But your friend, Geraint Geraint Davies. Sorry, Geraint. I'm going to get my language right here now straight away. Geraint Davies. It was a shame when you heard about him passing away. He was someone that you guys worked with for years. Really nice fella, not a bad word to say about him. He was an old fella, though. So when he did pass away, it was still a shock, but it wasn't a surprise. And you're standing there with Dee Dee. Jockey, what is it that you're doing in this moment?
Well, where Dee Dee is very slow moving, very calculating, very intentional. Yeah, Jockey is not that. This is a pure bull in a china shop. So she can't sit still. This is a very large woman with a 70 on her size, and I think it's complemented with like a 65 strength. This is just like posture is always erect. Rippling muscles, even though at 45, the sun and the exposure and the salt has just completely, rinsed off the first, couple layers of her youth and her face. So even though, her skin is weathered and it's starting to sag, there is a shark-like intensity in those two beady eyes that she constantly carries. And like right now, you can probably see that one vein that's popping off of the inside of her, off of her neck. And even though she's a retired fishmonger, she still dresses the part. Like the only thing she doesn't have on right now is the apron. And that's probably because she just left it somewhere or forgot about it because she didn't want to be late. So if silence is what she's used to, silence is what she will accept, but she can't sit in that type of silence, especially when she's grappling with something as heavy as grief. And also another member of the friendship group not being here. So on this gorgeous pier with this reflective water that you described, she's probably angrily pacing this same 3/4 circuit where it's down, across, down, turns around, down, across, and she's just pacing that circuit. She's spitting, she's gruffing, and that vein is getting bluer and bluer and darker and darker.
I'm going to tell you something just before Gwynfor walks in as well. The spot you're in, this was Geraint's spot. When you met Geraint, when you kind of, would meet him, he'd often say, right then, meet you down the pier on the end. Aye, that's where I like to be. I'll see you there, okay? So that's where you'd be. That's where you'd find him. Gwynfor, you're just walking. Actually, you're just coming onto the pier, and it's a bloody long pier. It's not a short one. It's it's the pier in Aberystwyth. So when you kind of walk onto it, you've got to walk through the glass canopy that's there, the pavilion essentially that they call it, and you get to walk all the way kind of down. But pretty much as soon as you're in the canopy, you can see down at the far end, Jockey's there, Dee Dee's there. On your way over, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? You're all here for the same reason. Geraint's gone.
So Gwynfor is looking ahead at these two on the end. It just doesn't feel the same for him. Since Geraint passed away, it feels like something's missing. It feels like they were like the Three Musketeers, and now there are only three of them. It makes a bit more sense, but he feels like there should be a fourth one, and he'll pull up his oilskin jacket and adjust his woolen hat, and make sure he's got his tobacco and pipe in his pocket as he just pushes through. And he does catch a glimpse of this glass pavilion, thinking of all the people that it has seen lost over the years, all the past that it has been witness to, and wonder what it's going to make of the four of us. But now it's the three of us as he walks on to meet his friends.
Just as you're walking on to meet your friends, do you want to just give me a spot hidden quickly?
Sure.
Oh, wow. Out the gate?
Out the gate.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, he's away with the fairies. That is a 80 versus 45. So he's concentrating on architecture.
Yeah, understandably, you are in a different place. You are thinking about very different things. You see the glass pavilion, you see and it is quite, wonderful glass. It is warmer under there as well, because obviously the sun is, popping through there, and there's not many clouds in the sky today. Actually, it's quite beautiful. And the ocean itself, the Atlantic today as well. You're just looking at that shimmer of light, dancing across those waves, gentle waves coming in. But as you kind of look up, you do see the reflection in the glass pavilion. You do see the waves below reflected in the glass. It's nice. It's relaxing. Quite humbling sometimes. But it's only a few minutes until you find yourself walking up to Diddy and Jockey.
All right, then.
Right.
Right, Joe.
You're late.
Oh, I meant to arrive on the time I meant to arrive.
No, you were meant to arrive on the time that it's a long climb. We should go.
All right. Well, let me do my pipe first. I got to have a smoke. It's a hell of a long way down that pier.
Didi just lights the match and just curls it up against the wind, and lights Gwynfer's pipe.
Okay.
Just
Just so you know, and that was some wonderful Welsh there, Cosmic. Thank you. If you look, you're standing on the edge of the pier. If you look north up the coastline, you can actually see the beach kind of sprawling out. You can see the town behind you. But as you look north, you can actually see up, and you can see Constitution Hill. And it's a bloody big hill. There's even a little kind of railway that kind of goes up it. You don't take the railway because you're locals. You
railway. It's for tourists.
Exactly. And you kind of find yourselves looking up, and you know that you're going to be meeting up at the Constitution Hill. But you can see from here, the little group that you know are going to be there, they're not there yet. You got a bit of time.
Well, it's still a long walk. You all eating?
No, didn't really fancy it myself. How about you, Joe? You've had any nosh?
No, I don't have an appetite. And this is as she's passing you on that next circuit, marching through smoke.
Don't lose soon. Joe might pop. Shall we?
Right, might as well.
All right, Lucky. You take the lead.
Come on then, you lot. Let's be going. And they just slowly march off. Trying to think whether Geraint would have been the leader, or whether he would have been just toddling along at the back, probably just ducking between the few of them, switching conversations.
Oh, that is so heartbreaking. Wow.
Yeah. Geraint was, I think, Gwynfer's hit the nail on the head there. He would have been the one kind of probably trailing behind, but verbally and socially, he would have been, tracking each of you. He would have been asking questions, engaging with each of you. He had a talent for asking a question and then letting you talk. That was his talent. But just as you're thinking on Geraint, Gwynfer, just as you're thinking on Geraint, and you've just seen the train as well, or the tracks anyway, that leads up Constitution Hill to the top, and you see, you said yourself, you hear, oh, bloody tourists. Reminds you read your paper this morning.
That's right. I don't suppose any of you picked up the paper this morning, saw all those missing tourists. It's terrible, it is.
No,
Bridget,
wait, what happened?
Could we have the starter handout, please, Bridget?
Mm-hmm. No, she turns around and she looks back like, no, what happened?
Well, you know how every season or so some idiot goes into the ocean that doesn't come out. Well, this year it's been absolutely terrible. Let me find it for you. It's look here. It says there's been 4 in 3 weeks. It's terrible, that is. Them people just going into the ocean and not coming out again. Can't imagine that. DD, It's not fun going down in the ocean, is it, without any assistance on you, is it?
I mean, you don't just go in, you gotta think about preparation, you gotta think about the suit, you gotta know the land, you know.
And around the pier, there's all kinds of.
I heard though that they're not coming up again. Like if someone drowns, you know, you expect cries for help and stuff, but I heard they just went under and they just
You know the
never
kind.
came back.
Yeah, it's terrible down there. You got all sorts of conger eels and all sorts of catch, haven't you? Joe, what fish live under the pier? Do you know?
Before I hop in, I have a quick question as a hometown educational point for Bridget because I've never been to Wales. In this particular city, is tourism like high? Is this like one of the things that we depend on as our economy?
I
Hell
think
yeah.
City is incredibly generous. This is a town, and tourism is a key feature of the town. There's two things that keep the town going, especially in the contemporary version of Aberystwyth. One is tourism, and one is the university. In terms of the amount of people that come to the university, prop up the local economy before they then leave for the summer, and tourism takes the university students' place, and then they switch over. So
It's
tourism,
also just spite as a just general underlying thing keeps a lot of people there.
yeah, yeah.
Just pure spite.
Yeah. Not at anything specifically, just in general. It's almost
Just in
like it's in the
general.
water. Yeah, yeah. So yes, it's a unique place. A unique place. And I think just for that as a question, tourism is arguably probably at the heart of what keeps Aberystwyth pumping, and a lot of the motives behind the town in terms of the pier, the arcade, the seaside resort attitude.
Okay.
It's like many British seaside towns. It was great in the Victorian times where people had trains coming in. They built these fantastic piers with glass and everything. And then as the Victorian times died down and people started doing different holidaying, the seaside towns kind of died down a touch.
Aberystwyth
Okay.
is still amazing.
So with that understanding, I think she's going to speed up to you and like literally snatch that paper that you're reading out of your hands, and she's just going to start ripping it. This is terrible for tourism. The town can't survive much more like this. We're already. Have you heard? You know, and she's running through names that I can't obviously immediately recognize, but like that family, they're already suffering, and this family is not going to be able to survive this, and so by the time she's finished with this rant, she's moved all of 40 feet, but that paper is in like 80 pieces. It's already being picked up by the wind and pulled in multiple directions. She's very high strung right now.
I hadn't done the crossword on that.
Sorry.
Don't
Sorry.
worry,
Bad day.
Did you? No, and all those bodies down there, they've got to come out at some point, and well, they're going to go on the shore, and all the crabs are going to get to them, and well, you know, it's going to be a terrible sight. It is.
Good work recovering bodies.
Well, you know, I wouldn't want to come face to face. I mean, the oddest thing I pulled out in my nets is, half a dead dolphin. That wasn't nice.
No, I've done it before. Council paid after there was a couple of deaths. Paid triple.
That's not bad. That isn't.
Aye.
Being paid triple.
Good night in the pub.
Otherwise, I have to start doing tourist trips, and I don't want that.
No, we couldn't survive that either. Dee Dee, have you been approached about recovering tourists? Has anyone approached you yet professionally to, I don't know, inquire about your services for this?
No, not recently. Not to my knowledge. That was a while back. Aye.
Maybe one of the councillors will be up on the Constitution Hill. We can ask him if there's any work going recovering the poor unfortunates.
Well, if the two of you would stop dragging your feet, we'd get there a hell of a lot faster.
All right, okay. Keep your
Is
head.
there anything you'd like to further discuss on your way up to the top of Constitution Hill?
Gwynford's going to be silent, puffing his pipe and trying to catch his breath.
Exactly.
Dee
What you
is-
need, marching up the hill, you need a pipe.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Dee is going to insist on stopping for a hot cup of tea.
Oh God.
Perfect. Perfect. And how does Dee take the tea?
Milk
I think
and
this is
two
important.
sugars. Milk and two
Okay.
sugars.
I thought it was going to be one of those like, I'll have milk, tea, and 10 sugars. I thought it was going to be one of those ones where you can see it lumped out of the top. You managed to
I
get your
mean,
tea.
it's two sugar lump. Like sugar's still
Oh.
kind of new.
Yeah.
So it's like it's two sugar lumps.
Yeah. Not little spoons of sugar. It's
No,
yeah,
no, it's
okay.
builder's tea.
2 bags of sugar. I hear what you're saying. Sacks, 2 sacks of sugar. So you get your cup of tea.
I like how much classism is involved in sugar right now.
You're walking up the Constitution Hill. It's a bloody effort. So I think it's only fair, and I kind of promised Rena I'd do something like this, is that you make a Constitution roll on your way up Constitution Hill.
Oh, that's so rude, Rena. Why?
She did ping me and was like, my partner went to Aberystwyth. Do you know Constitution Hill? I was like, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the problem. It's just a hill. In
Right
Scotland, we actually have proper hills, you understand.
Grumble, 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 grumble.
Okay, so Edie,
For
why don't you tell
those-
us what your role was, please?
So I had a hard success of 16 versus 55. So
Okay,
Dee
you're
just
marching.
wanders up this
Yeah.
hill.
Your only issue is that you occasionally just marching up there, taking some big steps. There's a bit of tea that spills on your hand, but you just managed to.
Well, I take my time. I don't rush these things. I don't
Okay.
like. I unlike some members of our group, I don't like run up and down the hill and get distracted. I just plod my way up slowly.
Some shade that's been thrown there, Joe.
Shade. Shade is in play, guys. Shade is in play.
Gwynfer, how about you getting up the hill with your pipe? Is that helping you get up there?
Gwynfer's absolutely fine. He's walked up and down Constitution Hill in Swansea, Abertawy, many a time, and that's an extreme success. 3 versus 45 for the man who knows how to puff, breathe. So he makes it to the top just fine.
It's all the swimming. It's the practice of swimming, head up for a breath, swimming, head up for a breath, pipe, head up for a breath, pipe, head up for a breath. Perfect. And Joe,
I hate
or
Rena.
Jockey.
Rena, I hate you. I hope you watch this and it's timestamped that I hate you. So she started off doing really well. She was marching up this hill, all engines firing. She was heading up this hill. Shortly, right before we stopped for tea, is when like she started getting sweaty. The hair is starting to get plastered to her face. She's very winded. She's huffing. And she makes some type of a slick comment to Dee, like, if you don't have the lungs for the climb, just say it. But really, it's she that doesn't have the lungs for the climb right now because she failed with a 65 over 55. She is struggling, but it's someone else's fault.
What does Jockey do with this? Is it like obvious? Is Jockey like, or
She's
there
huffing
like
and puffing right now. This is a struggle.
Yeah.
She's talking shit the entire way though.
Right? She doesn't fake it. She's not like, let's stop for you a sec, guys. She's
No.
just full on like. Okay.
Yeah. She gets quieter and quieter.
Gwynfer, Dee, you see this? You see Jockey taking a breath. Anything you do, or just march on?
No, lady said we had to be at the top in double quick time, so we'll just carry on, won't us, Alex?
It was.
Oh.
Yeah.
I take Jockey's arm and we wander up a little slower.
Okay, just as you're doing that, the little train carriage goes past you and a couple of tourists wave. Yeah, they're just gonna.
Gwynfer resists flicking them the V's.
And they don't look like they're there for the same reasons you are. They look like they're there for touristy reasons. But it's not too long before you make your way up to the top. And as you stand at the top, you see a familiar face. You see one of your pals from the pub. This is a long-time friend of Geraint. This is Daffyd Lynch. And Daffyd's an older gent, whiskey kind of beard, graying hair, kind of palmed over, short chap, big kind of wide eyes, really big friendly smile. And he's kind of standing there in a bit of a worn out tweed jacket, cord trousers, completely mismatching, muddied up kind of boots, but proper walking boots. And he's standing up there with one or two others. You know a few of the others. There's Daniel Price, who's there. There's Dillis Jones. She's lovely, wonderful. You've always, these are people that you know from the community. And there's Win as well. Win Evans, who's a young lad who actually, you guys have worked with Win a little bit. He's basically got a crew of mates who are the younger versions of you guys. They desperately want to get into the diving game and the fishing game, and they often used to kind of work with you guys. In fact, Dee Dee, they've done a few runs where they've done the pumps for you when you've been diving. So it's Win and the boys that whenever you guys want to dive, especially if all of you want to dive, it's Win and the boys that are called in to man the pumps, so that you've got the option to do it.
They're a bit, well, overeager, The problem you have is that you got to keep the same pace. It's no a thing where you can like go and stop. You got to just keep it up, And what you find is that with the wee boys, they get all excited at the start and then they kind of run out of steam. So you find yourself struggling for breath, and you got to call the dive. It'll do, but I'd rather have an experienced hand at the wheel. You know what I mean?
It's not a race.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Absolutely.
Win actually sees you coming up the hill, DD, and because you're like the diver, he just kind of sees you and just kind of waves when he's with his mates. Right, DD, I'll see you in the pub in a bit. See you in the Fisherman's, and I'll get you a pint. Yeah.
Important jobs first.
Oh, right. Sorry, DD.
Just slow down. Slow down, Win. Slow down. It's all right.
Right. Sorry, DD.
Serious business first. I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. Just take your time.
His mates are kind of like knocking him in the back and kind of going, "Way," as he's kind of obviously tried to show them that he's mates with DD, and then DD's just put him down publicly, and he's just kind of turned around to his mates. Oh, shut up, you bloody idiots! But it's in that moment where Daffod, who's standing at the front of the group, kind of looks around. You can kind of see him. Right, that's Daniel. All right. What's Gwenfa? Okay. That's DD, Jockey, Dillis, Win and the boys, and Win. You boys, you performing tonight in the your little boy band? You performing tonight in the pub? Are you? Because it'd be a great little send off. Geraint used to you enjoyed that. Win just read, whatever. Right. Well, give us a moment, and then I guess we'll start. You can see there's a box, like a cardboard box, on the floor beside him. So you've probably got a minute if there's anything you wanted to do before you see kind of Daffod winding up to say a few words.
I think Jockey is going to pretend that she collected a rock in her shoe on that climb up Constitution Hill, and she's just going to like plop down, like this is just sack of potatoes plop down to unravel this boot and pull it off and shake it. No rock is going to come off, obviously. She just wants to sit down because she's extremely tired.
DD is going to take out the soggy fag end and then begin rolling what was left of the bad tobacco into his new roll up. And then he's going to look over at Win's sad face and just sort of gesture, see if he wants one. And begin rolling a second fag for Win. Because he's no an idiot.
No.
And so he puts it in his mouth, and it's got that little tied off bit at the end. And he's got two, and he lights them both, and he passes the second one to Win.
He like jogs over, big smile on his face, takes it. Right, DD, it's very good.
You made that NPC's whole day.
Right, thank you.
DD, you didn't make that with pipe tobacco now, did you?
Oh, it's all right. Genfer, I smoke all the time. I do.
Oh,
Just ask anybody.
You do. Thank you very much for coming. Geraint would be overjoyed to see you boys here. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Genfer.
No problem.
he kind of goes over to his mates and like they pass around the fag, like they're super cool, as if that's them made up.
Dee Dee, we already have a problem with dead tourists. Stop trying to kill the locals too.
Sorry, it's 1920s. We don't know tobacco's bad for you yet.
No, that's just purely off of he couldn't handle it.
Wynn looks up. This is bad for you. I thought this made you a man. I thought this was oh bugger.
Don't worry. Keep puffing away. It's like whiskey, and it's an acquired taste, young lad.
And Daffyd, just kind of, he's there and he's out of his pockets and he's pulled out this ruffled piece of paper that's scrumpled up, and he's put some like spectacles on, really kind of small spectacles, and I'm going to ask Bridget, would you mind putting up handout 2 for me, please? So slightly out of synchronization. Handout 2 for me, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I have a quick question. I have handout 1 as a photo or handout 2 as a speech. Which one do you want?
Speech, please.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was looking good. There we go. All right, that should be up to you.
Okay, amazing. And this is Daffyd beginning to talk to everybody. He begins to read. Geraint was a bloody lovely man. We all know it. Geraint was the kind of man who would take you in astray and offer them a sofa to sleep on and a bus ticket in the morning. The man embodied the spirit of charity. And he was known for seeing so many people through our beloved town. It goes without saying that this knowledge of his knowledge of the sea, was second to none, and Geraint taught many of us to respect the water, myself included there, in a way that only a fisherman of his caliber could. And we were all surprised, when he hung up his fishing rod, and even his diving suit. Right then, he lived. Sorry, everyone. He lived his last few years as a happy, charitable, and community-focused man he was. So, let's raise a glass. And he pulls out his hip flask, and you see everybody around you pulling out their hip flasks because this is standard hip flask procedure. And let's raise a glass to the best fisherman Aberystwyth has seen for over 50 years. Yakida! And everybody, there's a chorus, Yakida! Of the 5 or 6 people that are there. And kind of folds up his bit of paper, leans down to this scruffy cardboard box, opens it up, pulls out an urn. Nothing fancy, just bog standard urn. Unscrews the top. You hear the squeaking of it. And he takes a second. And you can see he's just waiting for something. When the wind turns, out go the ashes, taken right across the ocean, Aberystwyth Bay, all towards the pier.
Winwood takes his hat off and looks up for a seagull.
You see as many seagulls as you like at this point.
Aww.
He nods and smiles.
Daffyd puts the top back on the urn, puts it in the box, and turns to everybody. Right, well, that's the business end of things, isn't it? Up here up on the hill. Obviously, we're all going down the fisherman's now, and we're all going to have a couple of pots, have a few drinks, and we'll see you there. So he kind of screws his pot down, puts it in the thing, and Daffyd he's kind of making an effort to lead the way so that people feel it's okay to leave, and he'll walk back into the town to the Fisherman's Rest, which is the pub that you go to. It's like the local. There's no kind of like, I wonder where the pub is. It's the pub. In fact, you probably have, there's so many pubs, but this is your pub. And this was Geraint's pub. This is Daffyd's pub. This is the pub that the tourists don't go to because it's not a tourist pub. And you could very much almost walk in and see your seat if you wanted to.
DD has a seat.
Yeah, Grimver knows he left a pint there before he came out.
I mean, that's not completely unreasonable. It's 10:35 in the morning, so the odds are that there is a pint for all of you already there. Because if the boat's not out, or there's no diving on, or if there's not a fishing trip today, that's where you're going to be, in the Fisherman's Rest.
Yeah. DD turns to the other two, looks at Lucky and Jockey, and just says, "Aye, let's go get fucking slaughtered."
Sounds like a plan. Let us raise a glass to the old gentleman as he sails off across the seas for one last time. Joe, you're joining us?
There's that standstill moment suspended in time where Jockey is standing at the table, but her eyes are looking at Gorate's chair that's sitting there but doesn't have a glass in front of it. So she's suspended for a moment, and she finally shakes her head and she says, I'm here. Then she'll raise her glass.
So we'll say you whip down the hill, you're in the pub, you've walked in. The first thing that Jockey does is see that empty seat, and it draws your attention. She says, let's raise a glass. I'm assuming you get to the bar.
Raise a glass.
Dillis is at the bar. Obviously, she's always there. She never bloody leaves. The only time she leaves is for someone's wedding, funeral, or christening. And that's why she was at the top of Constitution Hill. Now she's back in the Fisherman's Rest. And as you walk up to the bar,
How the hell did
she's
she
there.
beat us down here?
Oh, and she is old as well, but she is like, you wouldn't mess with her. Yeah. You want to see her hit points. Just next level.
Listen, our women are built tough here, honey. Don't mess with us.
So, yeah, Dillis is at the bar. And she sees you coming in. You can see Daffod's there, Daniel's there, everybody's there really that you would have just been up the top with. And there's a few other extra people that they kind of knew Geraint, but probably thought, we know him, but we're not in that inner circle that you guys are in. Yeah. So you're in the pub. You can kind of have a drink. You can speak to anybody you like. Daffod looks like he's got a few more things to kind of say, and he's kind of put the urn up over the fireplace. Even though it's empty, it's just kind of like a mark of respect. And you see, Bridget, may we have handout 1, please? You see a photograph of Geraint Davies in his prime. So this is an old photograph. This is one that you'll kind of go, oh God, yeah. How old was he there? That's insane. That's him at 42 years old. Which is a long time ago. For Geraint.
Handsome lad.
Handsome lad, indeed. Snappy dresser as well.
Yeah.
Is there, Keeper, anyone in this group who's like, I don't think it'd be the local MP, but it would be maybe the local
Mayor?
chairman of the Rotary Club. So someone who is very influential in the community quietly.
Oh.
Yeah, there is.
So,
yeah, there is. I'm going to introduce you to over at the bar now, probably talking with Daffod actually. And this is obviously an NPC that was very well planned. Who you have here is Evan Evans, who is the chairman of the Rotary Club.
Right, and he's talking to Daffod.
He's talking to Daffod, yeah.
So kind of like when I come up to the bar, as I come to the bar with my empty pint glass, I nod at the two of them and I gesture for 3, and I just sort of slip into their conversation, hoping to just listen and see what's talking about. I'm just trying to get both an understanding of what's going on, and also I have plans to ask about the dead bodies and the tourists. Just I'm nosing for work.
Okay. So I don't think there needs to be any kind of listen roll or anything like that. You're sidling up to them. There's no danger of not hearing them. I think they're not hiding their conversation. So you kind of, you sidle up to them and you hear Daffod is actually telling Evan Evans about the lovely. He had wonderful parents, Evan Evans. They really enjoyed naming him. But Daffod is just basically talking about the ceremony just up on the top of Constitution Hill. All right, and they were there, and they was respectful, and Wynne and the boys were there. Very good,
Is Evan Wynn's dad?
No.
Ah, damn it.
He's his uncle.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Well, he is now.
I feel that's appropriate. And actually, I feel, Creeper, if I can just add to this, Evan Evans actually called David Evan Evans, but he prefers to go by Evan Evans than David Evans.
You know what? I'm putting this. I think this is the joy of a hometown horror: is that you've got these seeds, you've got these ideas, but if you can have this collaborative storytelling, just bring it on.
Bring it.
Unless in a minute you say we time travel to the year 3000, and I'm just going to go, no, you don't. But or roll for time travel. Do you have that skill? Yeah. Wrong boy band. That's not Wynne and the Boys. That's somebody else. So David Evan Evans, known as Evan Evans, who is the uncle of Wynne, is nodding along to Daffod. He just goes, well, I think it's right and good that Daffod, you were up there and you were leading this moment, because that's what Geraint would want, And he kind of looks over at the empty chair, and not too dissimilar to the way Joe did. Geraint did a lot for the fishing community here. Did a lot for the divers as well, And even when he was no longer diving or fishing and that, he represented the best of us. He put people in touch with people. And that's a bloody big thing here. Is there anything you want to ask, Dee Dee?
Yeah. Right, Daffod, Evan. I don't mean to change the mood or anything, but no one's told me yet how he died. Do you know what happened?
Right. Well, there was nothing. It wasn't sinister.
I mean, he was old.
Aye, right. Sorry, Irish there.
But I just kept being missed.
DD. Geraint, he was an older chap,
Aye.
He died peacefully.
That's good.
He went at home. It was unfortunate. It was a few days before he was found.
Mm.
He was always so independent. No, I was worrying. It's good. You've really set my mind to rest, Evan. Thank you. Because with the stories of the people going missing in the water, I worried. I did.
You can see there's a noticeable intake of breath from Evan when you mentioned the people going missing.
You all got that sorted? Do you need a diver or nothing? I heard that they hadn't come up.
Right then. Didi, a diver might not be a bad. We hadn't really got to that bit yet because we usually put out for a diver, as you know, when we know there's a. Kind of looks around and goes a bit lower in volume. Obviously, people are being somber, but conversations are happening. We don't usually put out for a diver, unless we know that there's a body to pick up.
Mm.
We don't know where the bodies are. We were told by the police just to give it a few days, but that time has passed, and Dee Dee, we think that we would like to and he looks at Daffyd. Daffyd just kind of nods, and there's a bit of a nervousness between the two of them. We'd like to, get you and well, we there's a bit of money here from the council, so we thought maybe you, Winfa, Jockey, if we had Win and the boys, using the pumps and that, Gwynfer's boat maybe could come in handy. We thought maybe you wouldn't
Edie
mind.
sort of gestures to the two men, and everyone comes and sits down at the table so I can include the rest of the party in this conversation.
And they do. They come over. Just before they do, they've got their pints. You've got their pints. They do. It's David Evan Evans who orders a round of whiskies.
Nice.
And they get brought over. So everybody's got a whiskey and everyone's got a pint. And you all sit down together. And David Evan Evans takes a minute.
I just want to let Bridget know what that's called.
Yeah, what is that
over
called?
here in the UK? That's called double fisting.
If you have whiskey and a pint going simultaneously, that's double fisting.
Yeah.
There's your alpaca. The more you know of the day, guys. Tips from Alpaca Hedge. There we go. Double fisting.
Yeah, there you go. You'll notice, Hedge, I didn't say that for a reason. But hey, you know what? I just kept it to a pint of whiskey. Just saying. So we sit down at the table. Everyone's double fisting, and everyone's got a pint and a whiskey.
Why did Symphony's YouTube channel get put down? I don't know.
And it's bizarre because there's an alpaca at the table playing cards. No, you're drinking your pint, you're drinking your whiskey. Daffyd is looking a bit noticeably quiet now. Yeah, he's the one that's been chatting and keeping everyone going, and he's gone a bit quiet now. But he's sitting with David Evan Evans, and it's David Evan Evans that sits there. And when you're all there together, Gwynfa, Jockey, Dee Dee. So I was just talking to Didi here about maybe getting you out into the water. We got a bit of a diving contract from the police, if you'd believe it.
Well, my boat is always ready to serve the community. What are we diving for?
Well, it's a bit of a funny one, Gwynfa. Have you read? Do you know about the people that have gone missing? Some of the tourists.
I had a paper this morning, but somehow it vanished, didn't it, Joe? He looks at Joe.
So you have a contract for us to go down and bring up dead tourists. That's what you're saying?
Well, I mean, yes. I think that's a pretty blunt way to put it, Joe.
Oh. That's how she rolls. What's the rate on this?
Right. Well, I think there's going to be a bit of a flat fee, from the police.
Per recovery, per day, flat fee. What? I don't.
Right. They talked about the amount of bodies, because they just don't know. But we pushed it and we said, well, hang on a minute now. If you don't know how many bodies, then how are they going to be able to make a living off this? So we've got you on a daily rate.
7, that's going to be a lot of room on the boat if we're bringing them all up.
That's right, going far, but that's 7 in the recent months. There might be you might find a few more.
Oh, what the hell? She's gonna lean over on her chair and scan the room. Is there a member of law enforcement here?
No.
Anyone that's even law enforcement adjacent?
Yeah, there's a retired, there's Albie who's at the bar, who's proper old school police. Like when you were kids, he was the police, he was the beat cop. But he probably broke the law more than a lot of the people that he kind of, nicked. So could be a nice person to speak to.
Oh, washout.
Strikes me as a magistrate.
Yeah, old school police.
So from the table, she just calls his name. Hey, Albie.
He's Scottish, by the way. Sorry, Hedge.
Hedge's face. And she'll just motion him over.
Just, you take lawbreakers and you just say Scottish, you wonder why.
He slides off his chair and brings his pet alpaca with him. No, sorry. He's got a dog. He's got like an Irish wolfhound with him, which kind of just
Nice.
lopes along with him. And the Irish wolfhound looks as old as he does. So they're both legs kind of back, shaking on the way over there. And he comes over. Right, Jockey, Gwynfa, Didi,
Said my.
Evan.
Albie, what are the police not telling us about these dead tourists?
Hey, probably a shitload
Well, what do you know?
about the dead tourists or about the police.
And she'll
Good
just
one.
give him that blank face, like that. Really, we're gonna do this today again?
Hey, the tourists. I can tell you from a friend of a friend.
Thank you, Albie.
Hey. He kind of leans in and he leans on the table, mainly to support himself, but also to be a bit quieter. And he's kind of, the table's a bit, you can see your drinks wobbling a bit as he kind of leans on the table and shakes. I can tell you that the tourists, hey, they've been coming here. And that's it. Straight up disappearing. Straight up disappearing. And there's a regularity to it. What's happened now? And he kind of looks over at Evan. Under certain people's watches.
Oop!
Few more than usual, Evan. We were getting to a point now where a couple of people missing here and there. Hey, that is becoming the norm. No? But now, this. Evan. Eh? Looks like there might be a new chairman of the Rotary Club coming up. Hey, Evan. Didi. That'd be a good job for you, no?
I didn't know you were interested in politics, DD. Is this something you might be interested in? I guess not, then. Well, when do you want us to start? Because my boat's pretty much ready to go. I mean, I take it they've done a good sweep with the torches and everything like that off the side of the pier. They actually need a boat. I'm not going to go down there and find that they're all wrapped around or having a party at somebody's house and, they're not lost at all, are they?
As you say that, Albie just kind of looks and goes, right, this is beyond me. I'm off for a piss. And he just kind of turns around and like kind of shuffles off, and his little, well, not little, his big Irish wolfhound kind of follows him off. Evan turns to you, Gwynfor. Right. Well, the police suggested if we can maybe get in the water tomorrow.
Okay.
Daffyd actually kind of just right, boys, before we just get carried away, I didn't want to do this in front of everybody, but
Don't then.
Well, no.
Quiet word.
Well, no, just it's all right here, just us. You're right. His house was a bit of a bloody state, when he
Shuffled off the mortal coil.
aye,
Right.
that one, but he gave us, he left a note asking for you lot to
go around and feed his fish or something? I mean,
I think that's best. I mean, the note was so bloody scrambled, and it was, it was basically, it was nonsense. We couldn't, and I don't have it now. But the note, I mean, it didn't make any bloody sense now. And he's just gives you his key, and he's just kind of saying, that make sure that the team have got the key, And it's all this bloody rambling nonsense. I didn't want anybody else to see it. I don't think he was in his right place in the
Careful,
last few.
David.
I know. I'm just, I bloody love getting to same as anybody else, like, but
not coming around here saying he's a bit tough now.
No. I'm just saying that in his last few days, I think he might have known, and as a result, he said a few things, and they just didn't make sense.
What did he say?
I mean, he kept talking about a woman, you know.
Oh, that's
Geraint.
Oh,
Well, Geraint with a woman. He hasn't been with a bloody woman in bloody how many years, like, and he's now what? God knows how old he is, and he's talking about this Keris. I mean,
Keris.
well, he's talking about, you know, I think he was a bit embarrassed. He was, he left his key, and the note with the key, it said, you know, let the team go round, and you know, he said he had pictures of Keris, and he didn't want people to know about it.
Is she a film star or something? We
I
could-
don't know. I didn't go round. It wasn't. He didn't ask me to go round, and it didn't seem right to ask you before the, you know, before the service.
Oh, no, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. It's obviously the 1920s version of clearing your internet cache, isn't it? When you-
Well, I
But
guess so. But I mean, are these like your outer nets on your boat? What's?
Well, you know how it is. It is. Well, give us the key and we'll go have a look and, you know, maybe have a drink or two for him and see if we can't find these images, photographs. Is it?
Well, I don't know. He just said he said he had some pictures of this Keris, and you know, he was talking some a bit of. Geraint wasn't one for talking about, you know, crazy stuff. But he
Oh,
was
no.
talking all kinds of stuff, and he was asking for people to, you know, he was asking for sorries and all sorts. Just
Right.
didn't sound like him.
Well. How about it, Dee Dee? Joe, do you fancy going round to the house and having a look?
Right.
Yeah. David, how long prior to his passing did he give you this note? Did you have this conversation? Did he prepare you for this?
It's a bloody weird thing of it, Joe. He sent the key was round at my house when I got home in an envelope with a little note saying all this silly nonsense. Not in a you know, a moan at Geraint, just you know, bloody nonsense. And the next day, Jockey, that was there.
Julia. Well, we'll have to have a look at these notes and see what we can make of them. Maybe he was just, well, do you think he knew it was coming and he was making peace with his maker and everything? Or
Oh, I don't
he's been
know.
at
It
that
seems
Russian
a bit.
doctor again?
Hmm.
I don't know what, you know, Geraint, he was he even one for, you know, for praying and that and making right and that, you know. I mean, his love, his right mind was about the ocean. Everything about him was about the ocean. And when he couldn't go out sailing and diving no more, he spent all his bloody time at the pier, you know, standing there, staring there. Just, you know, it was, well, it was his life, wasn't it, out at the pier? Every time I bloody went to met him for something, it was either here at the pint or down the pier. He said he felt more at home there than he did at home.
You know what they say these days, the sea is always right, isn't it?
Aye.
Sad you didn't call her Brandy.
A door opens, the door of the pub opens at that moment. And you can see a young lady kind of coming in, and she's upset. You recognize her as one of the bar staff. It's Jenny. She quickly goes behind the bar. Visible, just there, you know, at the bar, but she goes behind the bar and she's talking to Dillis, who's there kind of, you know, serving the odd people, doing the odd kind of pint glass and that. But Jenny kind of goes over and you can hear her kind of sobbing in the background. She is talking as well. She's clearly telling Dillis something. And she keeps kind of pointing out of the door.
Grimber's going to nudge Joe. Do you want to see if they've got a packet of peanuts up there or something?
Aye, I'll get us a refill too. Understanding that cue, she'll clean up empty double fisters and head to the bar for a refill, sit in on that conversation moment.
Okay. I think you're going over there. I don't think there's, again, if I would say if Gwynfer or Didi wanted to listen, you guys, I would ask you for a listen roll, which you're welcome to do. But Joe going up to the bar with the pint glasses and the whiskey glasses, and potentially leaning up, to be there ready to ask for a drink. Dillis kind of looks at you. She's just kind of, oh, 1 minute.
Take your time, love.
Jenny, calm down now. And Jenny's just trying to go. She's just talking. Right, and they just went off the bloody side of the pier, they were like standing there for a minute, and then they just like rolled over the side, and everybody started bloody crying and screaming and that, and I thought I was so bloody close. Dillis, I was so bloody close. Dillis is like, it's all right, Jenny, it's all right, come here. And she's like giving her a big cuddle and rubbing her back, and
that is indeed interesting.
Jenny's
Who's
kind
that
of
she's
sobbing at
talking
this
about?
point.
Who's that she's talking about? More or less talking to both of them than an actual direct question.
Jenny's kind of sobbing. Dillis like, well, she said she didn't know them. She said, Jenny, did you say that was just like someone, like a tourist or that? And Jenny was like, I don't think it was a tourist. I think it was one of those boys from Llanglith, down the road. He just was over the side. Like he looked like he was daydreaming, and then he just like he was on the rail, and he just like smiling and that, and then rolled over the side.
So she's bullheaded. She knows that. She's stubborn, and she knows that. And she's not one of those mollycoddling, let's make you feel better people, and she knows that. Of my two friends, which one of them does she project, anticipate, know to be more of the, they're their type of personality type?
Lucky.
Basically, which of those two has the highest charm or persuade?
DD.
Will that be Dee? So looking over her shoulder, she's going to do that stare down thing. Like,
Remember,
I scared you so hard, you're going to look at me.
Stats. Remember, you've got the worst stats the world has ever known.
I mean, I have a persuade of 40. Didi is apparently the local politico. He's apparently actually has been angling for that Rotary Club presidency.
And you never
Albie
told
knows
us.
Albie knows all about it. He knows everything, Albie.
As he gets up from the table, Didi actually just says to Evan, he says, "Don't worry, you're still the big man." And then he puts his cigarette out, and he
Evan
wanders
just
up.
nods.
That's petty.
He wanders up to smile. Slightly half cut. He's a bit drunk. Towards the group of women at the bar.
As you come on over, Jenny's kind of sobbing. She's still talking, but it's just the odd word. She's not inconsolable, but she's really upset at what she's just seen. She's definitely in a bit of shock. You're welcome to make any kind of role that you'd like to call out. If you wanted to make a psychology, or if you wanted to, for whatever reason, anything else, a persuade role in whatever capacity. If you tell me what you want to do, we'll go for it.
As I was saying, we have terrible stats, so much so that my psychology is at 0%, which is lower than base.
Yeah, you could. You never know. You could.
I mean, you won't know until you try it.
I think Didi's gonna sort of he's gonna say, "You said there was someone jumped in by the pier. That's worrying. It's worrying. I do worry about that pier. Where was it exactly? Can you tell me more about
it? It was on the we were looking at this boy, and he was like, he was a bit further down the pier, we'd been walking up through, but my shift hasn't started yet, so I often go for a walk and have a fag and stretch my legs and that, get away from Ma for a bit, and I was walking out through the pier, and we were walking through the pavilion, the glass pavilion, and I saw this boy walking in front of me, and oh God, I actually thought he was a handsome lad, and I'm not going to lie, I was walking, and I didn't follow, but I was walking in the same direction, and he walked, when he got out of the glass pier, he was walking a bit like like he was dazed to that, and he was a bit like all over the, you're wobbling and that. So I thought I'd just make sure he was okay. And he was standing at the end of the pier, and I went over and I was about to say something, like I know you, don't you're from McClintleth, aren't you? And just as I was about to say, I know you, he bloody smiles, doesn't he? And he rolls back up the pier. And I just heard a cracking big smash in the water, like a big old slap on the water. And I'm running over and screaming and that, getting people's attention. And I'm looking over the water, I'm looking down. There's nothing there. And I'm looking, I'm watching, and I'm watching. And then there's other people in there watching, and they heard the scream, Some of them saw him go over. But he's not come up. He's not come up. And continual sobbing head into, Dillis's shoulder. Dillis is just kind of like, patting her on the head and just like, oh, it's all right, darling. It's all right. You did everything you could now. Are the police there? And, she's kind of nodding.
Wimver's going to give Dee Dee a nudge and say, well, at least we've got a place to start then. Maybe if we just go to the end of the pier, we'll follow the currents round to find the lot of them.
It's a wee bit worrying, though. I mean, it's definitely where the suits them. There's something in the water, you think? It's causing this madness?
The old tales of mermaids is probably just made up. People go a bit up and get a bit dizzy and fall in the water with a silly grin on their face.
I'm a little bit less worried about mermaids and a wee bit more worried about whatever the government's putting in our water,
Would you say that? Welsh water's fantastic.
Well, it's not the Welsh I'm worried about.
He looks around for any English people in the
bar. There's none.
Jenny, he didn't say anything before the big plop?
I don't think so. I mean, he looked at me, I saw him like eyes to eyes, because, like I said, he was handsome lad, and I thought he was standing there at the end of the pier on his own. I thought maybe he was, giving me the signal, like, to go over. And, well, I went over and I looked at his eyes and he looked back at mine, but I don't think he was seeing me, Eyes big and, beautiful eyes, but just big and just not seeing.
I mean, she has no sense of decorum. She's just going to ask. And I just want to clarify. He walked off, rolled off, dove off, which is like, she's asking for this last detail with total disregard to how sensitive the situation actually is. Which is very
roll for insensitivity.
Right.
Like kind of inverse fast talk.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, I think this is the part of the conversation where we're pushing it now.
No, I like it.
This is the bit where we're going to need something like a persuade or potentially a fast talk or even a charm, whatever skill that you might have some points in that you're willing to give a gamble on. I think she's.
No, I like. She's fragile, and this is it's a borderline disrespectful question given the situation. So, Jockey's charm is a 45, but I'm going to choose to use the fast talk because she's not really trying to be charming as much as she's trying to just quickly gather information. Everyone is talking slow today, and that's irritating the hell out of her. So it's just like, did he jump? Did he did? Like it's hitting her so fast that it's just like, I need something from someone today. So I'm going to use the lower score. We're going to try a fast talk.
Okay.
With a glorious fail, 64 over 35.
Oh, okay. She you kind of say how she goes there, and she just goes, right.
Right, but did he jump? Was this a dive? Did he roll over? Did he fall? Did he?
Dillis!
You
She
didn't
just
jump
kinda-
in after him? I mean, it's that type of thing would have failed.
She's just bawling now. You've pushed her. You know, I
Do
mean,
you
you could push this roll to see how far we could push her, but
I won't break the baby further.
I was gonna say, yeah, she's gonna break. Yeah.
He's nodding, sighs a little bit, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a task for tomorrow. It's not safe to go in the water with any alcohol in your system anyway, so he needs to stop drinking now because he's probably going to get in the water in 12 hours. So he sighs and then looks over at Lucky and is, shall we? Get.
Nods and says, "Yes, well, let's go over to Gellant's house and make sure that's all tidy for when they come." I can't remember. Does he have any family or any of them going to come around and collect his stuff? Got to find pictures. Of this.
He never married, to my knowledge.
Well,
You know.
Joe, you coming as well? You going to?
I am coming.
Now, this is a gentleman's residence, so there might be something that a lady might not want to see, you know.
Those dark black beady eyes almost scale back in pure annoyance.
Well, you know, just trying to prepare you for what you might see inside a Welshman's castle.
You don't remember Geraint ever talking about family, whether it be brothers, sisters, children's, wives, mothers, fathers, anything. Just never really talks about family. And just as you're walking out, David Evan Evans just kind of, right, I've spoken to Win and the boys. You know, they'll be ready tomorrow. You just let them know. And they're ready to be with you for if you need to do any diving, which, you know, obviously we think that's what's going to be happening here. They'll be ready for on the pumps, if that's all right with you. Gwynfa, it's your boat, yes?
That's right. We'll be taking out mine. Yes.
Right. Well, the boys are ready, and they all kind of, you know, give a thumbs up from the side.
Good. I guess it's probably not a far walk to Gellant's house.
No, it's probably, you know, a stumble. You know, you're looking at kind of going around some of the streets. You actually pass 2 or 3 other pubs on the way there because there are lots of pubs in Aberystwyth. And within, you know, down a cobbled street out towards the Cambrian, you actually found there's a kind of an inner road or path rather that doesn't actually have cars. It's not big enough for cars to go down, and that's where Geraint lives, or lived rather. May he rest in peace. And you see his door, and it's just a green wooden door in this stone built kind of terrace of houses.
Without
As
thinking,
a
go.
no, you go.
I was going to say, without thinking, Gwynfa walks up and knocks on the door, expecting Geraint to answer.
Ouch.
Dee looks at him a little bit, and then because this is a thing that he knows, he just pushes the door and it opens. Geraint hasn't locked his door in 20 years.
You managed to walk in, the door not locked, and what's weird is nothing has changed about this place.
It still smells like him.
Someone passed away here, and everything is exactly the same. There's been no one coming in, as Gwynfa may have suggested earlier. There's been no persons coming in, packing things up, moving things, preparing things. Everything is as if Geraint has just walked out to go down to the pier, and you've come round to see if he's in, and he's not in. This is exactly what the house would have looked like. You've got a living room. You know there's a kitchen. There's only kind of the 2 rooms downstairs. It's not a big place. And upstairs, there's a bedroom, 2 bedrooms. There's a bedroom, spare room, and there's a bathroom. And they're all rather small.
I'll pop the kettle on.
You go into the kitchen.
Yeah, I go to the kitchen and pop the kettle on.
Okay. Gwynfa, Jockey.
Gwynfa's going to have a look around the living area, just try and see. He knows Garant from days of old, so he's going to look around and just kind of see almost what his last frame of mind was when he passed away. Was he happy? Was he in turmoil? Did he put his playing cards away, or did he leave them out? Did he put away his books, or has he left them by his table? That kind of thing. As he, not like that it was like Garant to wash his cups up, but how many cups were waiting to be washed up? That
Okay.
thing.
Joe, what are you doing when you go in?
I think Joe's going to beeline directly for the bedroom. See if he can get a bead on this mystery woman that he's been seeing, talking to, fantasizing about. She's still kind of confused on the details there. So she's going to beeline to the bedroom.
Okay, so I think we're going to need a spot hidden from Joe, a spot hidden from Gwynfer, and Dee Dee in the kitchen. Are you just making a cup of tea, or are you having a bit of a nose about as well? Is it kind of going in there, making a tea, and just kind of, gazing around, or are you of the intention to just make a cup of tea?
It's a case of the tea is being made, which is giving him time to think. But while he thinks, he does begin. There are things here that don't make sense, and so there's a bit of time being spent trying to put those pieces together. So he is, if something about Keris does appear, or if there's anything lying around, he will look through it, but he's taking his time.
Okay.
So I would say he's not investigating, but there might be a spot hidden here, is what I would gamify that for you if you wanted.
Nice
yes,
gamification
please.
there.
Yeah, like a passive spot hidden that you're still invested in. Okay, so Gwynfer, we'll start with you in the living room. You're looking around and you see that there's a table. There's the open fireplace. There's the big table. I say big. There's the bigger table that Geraint would often sit at and have his dinner there. There is a radio up over the fireplace as well on the mantle, and there's a few candlesticks. You've also got his armchair. Essentially, you've got this green felt armchair that looks so worn, but it's exactly the seat that Geraint would sit in without fail. That one seat all the time. There's one or two other seats, but none of them as nice as that one. And there's a little kind of footstool next to it, which would have whatever he was reading. Big reader as well, and that about him, that he was a big reader, reading anything and everything. That was essentially where he got his knowledge from, because apart from you guys and the people in the pub, he didn't really spend much time with anybody else. So that was how he understood the world. And you can see there's two things. One is you can see there's a map on the table that's kind of half covered in other kind of things, and you can see that there's a pile of books and things over on the stool by the chair. What would you like to do?
He's going to, with a spot hidden of 77 versus 45, he's probably just going to get engrossed in the magazine.
Right. Okay. And I'm going to say the magazine is it's actually rolled up. There's a bunch of magazines rolled up near the fireplace that would often be ripped up and used to help get the fire started. So you go over and look at that, and you kind of you look around the room, and you pick up the magazine that's ready to go in the fire. But you look at the fire, and there's a piece of paper almost on the floor in front of the fire.
Oh. Pick it up and have a quick look at it.
We'll come back to that in a sec.
Oh.
Jockey, you're upstairs in the bedroom, and I believe you gave us a spot hidden roll as well?
Yes, sir. She failed that magnificently, I believe, with a 73 over 25. So just
Excellent.
To gamify it, apparently, Hedge, you are literally you will coin a phrase that will last forever, because apparently that's the chat's new thing is gamification or gamify.
Gamification.
I think the gamification of that failed roll is she's having a hard time actually breaching the threshold to go into that room.
Okay.
because it was so articulately described. Like it just feels like he just popped, down to the wharf or to the shore. It feels like an invasion of his privacy to walk into his bedroom right now. So there's that moment that's staggering, and when she finally does get into the bedroom, she's not doing as thorough of a search as she could be doing.
So you go into the room, and as you look around the room, it's quite overwhelming. You see the same picture actually that you saw earlier of young Geraint there holding up one of his kind of famous catches, and it's just really sad because he was such a lovely man, such a caring man, so full of knowledge. And as you're kind of looking at him, you're really looking at him. The frame's a bit, it's not even put on properly.
It's just you're saying the frame is. Describe that to me again. Sorry.
So you're looking at the picture, and it's on the bedside table, and the frame, the glass, the picture, and the wooden frame and the backing to it looks like it's all hobbled together. And bearing in mind, you didn't even make your roll, so this is something that you're seeing that is less than the something that you may have seen.
That I missed out on seeing.
Just FYI.
Yeah, so she'll pick up the frame and start trying to pull that just bumble of it apart. Like, what in the world happened here?
Okay, and you kind of get to the back, and there's the little catches on it, and you can see that it's packed. And you open the frame, and we'll just jump to Hedge quickly. We'll just jump
Nice.
to Didi quickly here. You're in the kitchen.
Mhm.
You're making a couple of cups of tea. I think you said you wanted to stop drinking at this point.
Yeah.
And what was your role, please?
I rolled a 38 over 50, a success.
Hey, someone made a spot hidden in this house.
Hey, that's fantastic, because it's good to find a clue. And you are putting the kettle on, getting the cups out. Because you've been leaning against the kitchen counter and kind of thinking for a minute. It's only when you actually turn back around to pick up the kettle and fill the drinks that you see literally there on the kitchen worktop next to you are a couple of A4, A3 sheets of paper, and they look like they've got kind of sketches on, like pencil sketches and things on them. Some are of the waves, some are quite significant. You see the pier in one. You can just see like a beautiful kind of sunset in another. And actually, do you know what? Geraint's pretty talented. He was always quite good at this, but you can see he's actually spent some time on these. But then you see one, and it's just a bit stands out from all the others. Bridget, could I ask you to pop up handout 6, please?
Yeah, be happy to. This starts with the letter C.
It does.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I think so. I'll tell you now.
Yeah. That guy?
That's the one.
Beautiful.
You see that sketch.
It's pretty good, Newman.
And as you're looking at the sketch, obviously, you see what you see. But it's in the exact same style, the exact same hand as the others. It's just a bit unique. Just a bit unlike Geraint.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it is. So it actually really appeals to Didi because the Welsh dragon is a big aspect of Welsh identity, and it's definitely a part that he's picked up on. So to him, this is representative of Wales, as it is a picture of a dragon and also of a wave. So while it's not particularly Geraint's style, it also quickly makes sense to him as a piece of art.
Yeah.
And he's gonna just take a moment to study it, and then he's gonna just fold it up and pop it in his pocket.
Okay. I think it's fair to say, Geraint, the man you knew, very patriotic, very in love with the sea. Hmm. We're just going to quickly jump back to Jockey upstairs before we go back to Lucky, before we go back to Gwynfer. Jockey, you're upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
You're pulling apart this picture frame.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to bring up handout 3 as a number of bizarre documents fall out of the back of this picture frame.
Oh my, as this is falling out all over her lap and her feet. What is all of this?
You quickly realize that you're looking at identification documents. A mix, but they're all documents that identify individuals.
Who are they IDing?
There's lots of random people there. I will ask you for I'm going to say, give you a choice. I would go with, depending on the type of knowledge you'd like, we can either have an accounting role, we can have a library use role, or we could have you've already rolled, have you?
Oh, no, apologies. That just a click because I was rolling through my sheet.
Oh, no, that's cool. So you can have, accounting role, library use role. I'd even take an intelligence role as well. But depending on what you roll will depend on the information that you get.
Let's do intelligence. Let's do intelligence. These documents are falling out over her hand. She's picking them up. She's doing an at a glance go at it. And like that interior Rolodex is moving quickly about. And that is a hard success. 32 under 75.
Okay.
She's
so
a brute,
with that,
but she's smart.
all brutes are deep down.
Boom.
I say, as a natural brute myself, it's it's something I'm akin to. So as these documents kind of fall out and you pick them up, one's a passport, one's a driver's license, one's a license for a motorcycle vehicle, one's just identification papers in general, and it's in the fact that they're not connected that gives you a sense of connection.
Oh,
these are random people's identities. These are a collection of people. These are a collection of people that are not from Aberystwyth or Wales. These are a collection of tourists.
And every ID she flips over, every passport, every single one, she no, and that's the only way that she can reconcile this leap of logic that she's putting forward, that he has something to do with these missing tourists. So the best she can do is just no, as she's flipping through these documents.
I just wanted you to hear you say no as many times as you could. I'm going to ask you for a SAN roll, please.
You know what? You're welcome to that one. That is for sure your SAN check.
It's getting an image of that film, Nope, when he's in the car, just going, nope.
No. Yes! Listen, she is not tolerating this information well. That is a 94 over 45.
Oh, right.
There's no way her friend was a killer. No way.
It's just not happening. I am going to ask you to give me a 1d4, please. Because there is this is chipping away at you.
Oh, somehow she only rolled a 1.
Okay, but he's not though. He's not. This isn't right. He's collecting this for another reason. This isn't anything. These aren't trophies. This isn't anything else.
Why did you have to use the word trophies, Newman?
Oh, sorry, someone in the chat used it.
No!
Sir Drum used it in the chat. He
Paul,
did it.
You're
your
a
fault.
terrible person.
Your fault. Yeah. So you don't believe this at all because it's not true. Can't be Geraint, that beautiful old man. No chance.
Nope. No chance. Nope. He was investigating the missing tourists. He had nothing to do. But why would he have their IDs? Why would he have their IDs? And she's going to have to start heading downstairs with this information.
And just as you're heading downstairs, and you've got this information to potentially share with the others, you quite rightly believe that he had nothing to do with this. He had nothing to do with this. Gwynfer, you open the piece of paper that you found on the fireplace. Could I please get a handout 7?
On the way, my love. Starts with a G.
That's the one.
Yes, sir. Ready.
I can read it for you if you can't read
Please.
the writing. So this is a note to Joe, Alex, and Gwynfer, and it is from Geraint. Joe, Alex, and Gwynfer, I'm not sure how much longer I can go on looking after Keris. I take full responsibility for all the pain I have caused, but please know I did it in good faith and with the intention of caring for this unusual creature. And before long, I couldn't resist her charm. She told me she was trapped and, she couldn't feed on her own. It sounds crazy, I know, but she showed me things that made it make sense. I know it has to stop, but I can't do it on my own. Please, set her free from the prison beneath the pier. If you cared for me at all, care that this gets done.
Gwyn was going to pick this up carefully, read it a couple of times, look around the place, nod and quietly whisper, "No problem, Geraint. We'll make sure it gets done for you, boyo. We'll make sure it gets done. Dee, how's that tea coming along? I think we've got a lot to talk about tonight before we head out in the morning."
Aye. And there's 3 cups, so mine's milk and 2 sugars, and then I think Lucky's is
Milk and 2 sugars.
milk and 2 sugars, and then Joe's is black with a quarter sugar, but then I always add too much sugar.
Standard. On purpose?
No, I just don't understand why you'd want less sugar.
Gwynfer, I'm just gonna ask, as you're reading that, and your response was very lovely. I really enjoyed it. We'll see it done. But can I ask, in terms of processing, some of what that request says, how does that land with Gwynfer?
Gwynfer was fairly young when he came back from Brixham and returned to Aberystwyth. And there he'd learned some, good fishing techniques when his family moved away and got everything right down there. Coming back to Aberystwyth, Geraint was the person who'd forgotten more about fishing than Gwynfer would ever know. So he knows this old goat knew something, and he will probably see a picture very shortly, and that will probably just reaffirm he was onto something probably a little bit magical that us younger boys probably wouldn't understand. And he probably slots himself in the middle, that Geraint found something wonderful. He's going to find help him set him free. And there's going to be the young boys who are going to talk about that mystical creature or whatever Geraint was found, with fondness of this old sea dog who found something magical and shared it with his friends.
Okay. I'm gonna basically hang a sanity roll over your head for a moment. I think you've quite brilliantly talked about how Gwynfer, I suppose, processes this with the knowledge of his amazing experience, kind of, mentor, etc. But I think we're just going to hang this sanity roll there, and see if that processed information takes a different angle in the very near immediate future. Dee walks in with a cup of teas. Jockey comes down the stairs with a handful of papers, you're in the lounge.
Right. Sit down. I've found some instructions from old Geraint. We have a last will and testament almost that we need to fulfill. Apparently, well, I don't know whether it is a proper mermaid nor nothing, but well, in his travels, he appears to have found some sort of wonderful sea creature that he's been able to hide from science and prying eyes and everything. And it's his last wish that we set this Keris, ring any bells, folks? That we set this Keris free and see what's up with the poor thing, because she might have got stuck or something. And, well, you know, we need to help them out, don't we? Dee Dee, Joe, you up for one last gig with Geraint? Joe, you look a little shocked there, my love. Everything all right?
What the fuck are you saying?
Would you like me to pronunciate? Am I not making myself clear?
No, your words are reading fine, but the organization and the structure doesn't make sense. What? What are, and that's just like she's getting ready to boil over. You know this very well. Her hands are shaking. She's probably got a stream of tears running down her face, and she's holding two handfuls of dead tourists in her hands right now. And you just basically explain to her that he's feeding innocent tourists to this creature, and she doesn't even believe in the creature in the first place. So what she's going to do is project that anger directly towards you.
Gwynver is a little taken aback, and he's equally confused. What? I don't understand your anger. What have you found there?
Wait, what are you saying that he's asking us to do?
Look. Here's the letter. Read that out for yourselves. Look, here it is. You know, it says, look, it's addressed to us all. I'm not sure how much I can look after Keris, so he's looking after something. And he's taking responsibility for all the pain he's caused. Well, I hope he didn't off himself, that's for sure. But look, it says there, she told me she's been trapped and I don't know what feed on her own is. I don't know what Keris looks like myself. But we have, look, down the bottom, don't worry about the rest, down the bottom, please set her free from the prison beneath the pier. If you care for me at all, we care for him, don't we? You know, whatever it was, the time when he caught you, with that other fella and didn't let on or nothing. You know, that could have got you in right hot water, that could have. So, we'll do this for Geraint, you know. He's our friend after all, isn't he?
So he's talking, and the last instructions, as she at least comprehended, was like, keep your eyes at the bottom of the page where the request comes in, but where she's beelined in is feed herself or feed herself. She's stuck there. And while he's talking, she's looking down, and she's just going to pick up the first passport, and she's just going to call off a name, Newman. That's what? What's the name on this first passport?
First name you can see is Samuel R. Davies.
So
there is also a Walter John Cornell, Thomas Howard Ryland. Take your pick.
So she's going to pull Thomas Ryland's ID and just throw it directly into his face. I mean, she's aiming to hit him smack in the face with this. And then she's going to pick up the next birth certificate, and she's going to throw that directly at him. And she's just going to, until she can run through at least half of this pile, she's going to start reading off names of the deceased and flipping their IDs directly at his face.
Gwynver bats them down and said, whatever has got hold of you, Joe? I don't want to say anything, otherwise you might actually hit me. But, Dee Dee, what are all these about? Has Geraint found our missing people as well? There's no end to that man's talent, is there?
Keeper, could I have a sun roll?
Indeed. You can indeed.
I think Dee Dee's put all of this together. And I just kind of want to know. Is that a D4?
Yes.
So
Was
that's
that
a
a failure?
53 over 40, so I failed. And I lost 2 sanity.
So you have the sketch, you have heard the request, and you're seeing the IDs being thrown Gwynfer from Joe. What
Lucky.
pieces are you putting together at the minute?
Lucky.
What's up, Dee Dee?
I'm not being funny. But I think our man Garrett might have been feeding tourists to some kind of sea monster. And he's gonna like throw the picture down on the table.
Gwen was going to guffaw with laughter and said, "Oh, is this something Geraint had you do? Make sure that Gwynfer, he's going to be very sad when I go. Make sure you give him a good laugh." And then he's going to look down at this sea dragon or something. And
Is
then
it like, is he like keeping a pet eel or something down there? Look at this thing.
I think
Said
Gwynfer,
it's a
that's
dragon.
your floating sanity roll that's been queued up
floating
from
sanity roll.
Let it
Dee Dee
drop.
saying, "Can I have a sanity roll?" That's the cue, I think, for yours to drop when you finish laughing and you relook at the picture, the request, and the IDs.
He looks at the picture and tries not to think we're all going to die. But that's a hard success. 20 versus 50. No.
Okay.
Can't be. It's probably just no. I look. We've been tasked with money to go out to the pier. If you think that Geraint, our friend of well, goodness knows how many years, Joe, is actually some kind of zookeeper feeding the fishes and everybody, and that's a lovely picture, Dee Dee, but could be anything, could be a flight to fancy. The only thing we know is that we're going to get on that boat tomorrow, strap you in your suit, and chuck you over the side, and well, maybe Keris will come up biting, eh? And laugh it off.
As Gwynfer says that, Dee Dee, you do remember that David Evan Evans was saying that the boys are there to do the pumps so you can all go down in your suits?
Cosmic is thinking
Aye.
multiple targets.
Well, I think maybe this is one where we all want to go down. It's not so much that I mind being on my own with what looks like, well, something quite out of this world, but honestly, lucky. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It doesn't matter. But if I'm right, it's probably best we have a few folk down there.
Don't usually like getting my feet wet or nothing, but we got to do right by Geraint. If you think you can get us down there safely, I mean, have you got a suit for Joe as well? He kind of doesn't quite look at his size, but Joe probably thumps him in the arm anyway for indicating that she is of a suitable size to not fit in a regular suit.
Joe and Dee Dee are the same size.
Oh, are they nice?
you've not necessarily the three of you together, but Gwynfer, you've done the odd dive with Dee Dee, and Joe, and in the time you've done the odd dive with Dee Dee as well. You've all, the three of you haven't dived together, but you've all been down there. You've all got the basics. You've all got a bit of experience. You know what to expect. You know the time it takes to put on one of the suits. You know the weight of the suit. You know the restriction in movement whilst you're on land with the suit. You know the restriction in other aspects of communication, movement, skills, and so on when you're in the water as well. But Dee Dee's the one that goes down more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Just as the night passes, is there anything you'd like to do whilst you're still in Geraint's house before you go back to your own houses, flats, wherever it is that you're staying, the room you stay in above Mrs. Moggins's shop?
I do want to look around Garrett's a little more. Now I'm a bit more suspicious. I'm looking for anything really weird, like occult books, and also anything. So I get the feeling that he's like, I think it's like a giant eel. That's kind of where I am as Dee Dee as a character. So I'm also thinking nets that are reinforced or harpoons or anything that I could just take with me that might be just a little bit more physical.
Okay. I think I'll take a spot hidden on that one, please. Gwynfer, Joe, is there anything you do? You kind of see Dee Dee's having a nose about now. You can see that he's got this look in his eye and he's convinced that there's something going on. So he is very geared up to moving around the place. What about yourselves? Is there anything you do? Do you watch? Do you join in with searching the place for something?
When Gwynfor knows that Gellert was a very educated person, so he would have done the research. So not so much the occult sort of thing that Dee Dee's looking for, but more along the lines of marine biology. The clever books that Gwynfor kind of looked through the pictures at, but never really read himself. And just seeing if there was a focus of what Garrett was actually, maybe looking to try and classify, if this drawing is actually out there, if he was actually trying to classify it somehow and, give us an idea of what it might be.
Okay. I think, could you give us well, it depends. I think that would be a library use, really, if you would agree, Gwynfer.
Yes, he wasn't very good at the library, but he'll give it a go.
And Joe, is there anything specifically you are engaged in?
Yeah, she's haunted by these IDs, these passports, these birth certificates. So I think what she's going to do is, one, put them all together in something that she can carry with her, a pillowcase, a box, something of that nature, where that's information, that information isn't here. And then if there's newspapers here, he's an avid reader. I'm assuming he probably picked up the paper daily. She's going to start trying to reverse tracking when did he first start feeding tourists to this creature. And
Okay.
in an ideal place, where was he dropping? Because she's assuming now he got she's on Lake Placid mode. Betty White has a pet alligator, and she's feeding. So okay, where and how long has this been happening?
So we're about to wrap up. So I'm just going to ask you for your roles, just to see what that is. Dee Dee, what did you roll, please?
I rolled a 73 versus 50, which is a failure.
Okay, perfect. And Gwynfer, what did you roll?
I rolled a 96 versus 20. That's a fun.
Oh, good for you, baby.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
And Joe, what did you roll?
Joe hit a hard success, 16 under 75.
It's one of us did well.
Okay. In the chat, what would people like to hear before we finish? Would you like to hear what Joe finds, or would you like to hear the fumble as we pause tonight's session in preparation for our next session? We'll do one of them. So
I've also been asked to push the roll by chat.
I was just about to say we could push.
2 for fumble.
2 for fumble. I quite want to hear the fumble, but Gwynfer, it's your call. Would you like to push the roll?
So I don't think he can fumble anymore.
No, absolutely. Okay, so I think everybody wants to hear the fumble. Okay.
I think it's unanimous.
And then when we come back, please remind me, Joe, we're going to find out what you're able to see.
I'll write it down.
As you do that, okay?
So we'll start tearing pages out and arrange them alphabetically in the book.
Well, Gwynfer, you pull down a book, and as you kind of get this book, and you see that it's a handwritten book. It's a handwritten journal by the looks of it. This one dates back about a decade. And you recognize the writing. It's Geright's writing. And you look at it, and you're not really reading any key sentences. You're just flicking through, and you can see Keris, you can see Pier, you can see Hungry, and then you kind of turn like that, and you kind of see Dee Dee's in the room, and he's doing knock something, and you kind of turn and look like this, and as you do, you drop the book out of your hands, and it knocks the teas over.
Uh-oh.
And the teas just spill across this, and the writing starts to run quite horrifically, almost like a little bit unrealistically. The writing just begins to run, and you're like trying to hold the pages up now, and they're soggy, and they begin to rip
hang on,
and
let me
tear.
write it off.
And yeah, it's kind of like as
no!
you are ripping it out, and there's one word that you half see that you think, and it's Alf, and by the time it's just mush. You're like, you almost kind of go to stop it by doing so. You almost knock more tea over yourself. You're like, oh, blooming hell, that's hot, that is. And there's more kind of tea on it. It just runs and rips and tears and mush. By the end of it, you're holding like the spine of a book with just mushy paper, which potentially contained all the secrets to everything you wanted to know. And on that note, Bridget, I will pause.
Holy cow.
Aberystwyth, my love. Until next week.
And that, friends of the symphony, is where our show ends for the night. Holy cow. Newman, take a damn bow. Me and the entire chat are just talking about your pacing and your cliffhangers and your transitions. Just, whew, wow. Take a bow. Miskatonic Playhouse, thank you so much for coming on. Symphony fans, we will be wrapping up the conclusion of this game 1 week from today. So this is going to be next Wednesday. We are actually going to start at a different time so I can actually accommodate for the mistake that I made. So it's either going to be at 3 p.m. or 3:45. I will update the promo and get that all out for you guys. Thank you for everyone who joined in. A huge shout out to Andy K for backing us. I just saw that come through on my phone. I love your face. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And a big shout out to everyone who is watching the replay on YouTube right now. You guys are indeed the best part of waking up. Chat, thank you for being here. You guys always bring the boom and we really appreciate it. Before I close out, I'm going to do this giveaway. I think I set the bot up wrong, but maybe I didn't, but we're going to pray about it and we're going to see what happens. I am going to click the button that says select giveaways and we'll go from there. So the first one, I think we're going to do the Hometown Horrors Volume 2. And this is going to be Chris Bates 01. Yay!
Yay!
I think
Newman,
Chris owns everything already, so that might be a problem.
Oh, Chris, are you still here?
Yeah, he's still here.
Yeah, I've seen Chris.
Chris, like, I already own a copy. Chris buys everything, honey. Oh, no, he says thanks. Yay.
Awesome.
And then for the next one, TA, let's do yours. You were teeing up.
This is Be My Valentine. This is my latest scenario.
Beautiful. So it is not allowing me to pick a second winner. Apparently that is not Chris, but I know Lamb Fam 71 entered into the drawing. I think that's all I saw.
Lamb Fam 71.
So Lamb Fam 71, congratulations. Thank you for first coming to our stream. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining Miskatonic Repository Con. We super appreciate that too. And congrats on your new copy. I am going to put my, because I can see you still in there chatting. I'm going to put my email in the chat. Symphony Entertainment, gamingandarts@gmail. Babe, if you will email me your drive-through RPG affiliated email address, I will coordinate that with TA and he can go ahead and get you a complimentary copy of Be My Valentine. Sorry about the drawing. Sorry about being late. You got to love me not being good with technology, but I sincerely appreciate you guys and all of your patience. If you'd like to
Also
hang out
a little
with us
bit
on
my
this...
fault.
Oh, say it again. Babe, that was on me. You know that shit was on me. You had a real life schedule and I missed it.
Time has a different meaning in Aberystwyth. It all moves a little bit slower, you know.
Oh, God, please don't put anything else on this damn town. I'm so stressed out right now. If you guys want to hang out with us, we are all on Symphony's Discord, and we are also on the Miskatonic Playhouse Discord. While I'm talking, can I get one of you guys to tee up your Discord link into the chat? And I will have that bot running for next week, actually.
I don't know why I'm saying yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
If you
I don't know why he's saying yes. He knows I'm doing it.
I'll just touch the screen.
Just right. I'm on it. Find other ways to connect with Symphony at symphonyentertainment.com. Again, if it's in your heart and your budget, please feel free to back us at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. Before we enter or empty out the auditorium, let's go around one more time and say goodnight to our special cast. Starting with TA, give us your name, what you do, where people can find you, and anything that you want to hype.
My name is T.A. Newman. I am the host of the Miskatonic Playhouse. I want to hype the Playhouse and all of the amazing, hardworking people there. Whoop, whoop. And I also write a few scenarios, which you can find on Drive Through RPG. There's The Prisoner's Dilemma, there is Secret Santa, and there is Be My Valentine. So keep an eye out. Thank you very much.
Newman, you kicked ass this stream. Hedge, hit us, baby.
My name's John Hedge. I'm a writer. My stupid little scenario, Pack in the Sheep Field, is at 98 copies sold, which means it will go silver if 2 more people buy it. It's on sale for 80 cents right now. So you should just go and buy it to make me feel good about numbers. But also I write other scenarios. I'm particularly proud of Secrets of the Glen, which I think we'll be doing a giveaway of the next stream. It's a slightly longer one. If you're interested in mysteries and horror, that's a great one to pick up. And you can find me everywhere you can find Newman, to be honest with you, normally standing behind him explaining how things work. And
we all have
so true.
And yeah, I love hanging out, and I hope to be on more Twitch streams. This was fun. Cosmic.
Woot woot. And Cosmic, close us out, baby.
Okay, well, I'm Cosmic, and I'm with everybody else, and doing stuff on the Miskatonic Playhouse. But tomorrow, do swing past www.roll4sanity.com as we release our second Mythos investigative video of a particularly timely nature for something that may or may not be being released tomorrow. Swing by www.roll4sanity.com tomorrow and find out.
There might be a few posts from the Playhouse tomorrow. Just going to throw that out there. Might be a few
Spam us,
posts.
baby. Give it to us. You know we're ready for it. Your community loves you. We are here for you. Really fast, just before I leave, this is going to be like a party note that I have for anybody that is watching. Newman, Hedge, and Cosmic. I know this is Cosmic's very first time live streaming. Hedge and Newman, have you guys ever live streamed before?
Yes. I've been on... I was on Ain't Slayed Nobody.
Okay, so Ain't Slayed Nobody on a podcast or a live stream?
Live stream.
On a live stream. Okay, I missed that. And I'm on Ain't Slayed Nobody. I need to go find that. Newman?
No, I usually need a team of people behind me to make things right and change the words that I say before it goes live. So, yeah, I'm assuming that's happening tonight, right?
We literally just sometimes change the words that come out of his mouth. That's entirely true.
I'm really looking forward to when this is edited and when it goes out.
Editors make the world go round, and I don't have one of those for this Twitch, so good luck for everybody. So what I wanted to say to anybody watching the stream, we started 15 minutes late because I'm bad at technology, and I'm running this by myself, and I just completely mismanaged Hedge's time, even though he articulated to me. But 2 of us are completely new to streaming. I have never owned a Twitch channel and been in the production chair of like trying to unroll all of this. So all of that to say, yet again, you don't have to be perfect to do something. You don't have to be beyond reproach to get out there and create. You don't have to be the best writer. You don't have to be the best performer. You don't have to be the best production manager. You don't have to be the best marketing. All this shit you guys see from me is me in PowerPoint because I'm too scared right now to learn Photoshop or Canva or anything else. So if nothing else, if you don't take anything else from just the out of character stuff, you can do hard things. You can stream, you can write, you can publish, you can get out there. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to step your foot out the door and actually do it. If you are looking to write for 7th edition Call of Cthulhu, which all of us do, the Storytelling Collective, which is actually a sponsor of the Miskatonic Playhouse because they're sexy like that, is launching the Write Your First Adventure class starting November 1st. So if you go to the Storytelling Collective, or Hedge, could you babysit me and throw their website into the chat, please? I love your face.
Of course.
If you are looking to write, publish, and monetize for 7th edition Call of Cthulhu, or RuneQuest, or 7th, one of those IPs for Chaosium, this is a really good time to start. This class will hold your hand and mollycoddle you and get you all the way through the door for being published for the very first time. The way they organize their bundles, you will probably be a bestseller pretty soon if you join the bundle. And the way this community orbits around new creators, veteran creators, you're either going to run into me as a former Chaosium ambassador. I will help you out. I will hold your hand. I will give you all the support I can. Or you're going to run into one of these 3 or their crew at the Miskatonic Playhouse, and maybe they'll run their stuff or run your stuff on their podcast. They will hype you out. They will answer questions. Their Discord is an amazing resource for just, I don't know what to do. So all of that to say, I know this is like a really random rant. You can do hard things. You can do things you've never done before. And if you want to get into this space as a hobby, as a professional, the door is actually open to you and you have support. I just needed to get that off my chest. Sorry. We hope you've enjoyed the symphony, and we look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Have a wonderful night. We will see you next week, probably like 30 minutes in the future. And I'm going to try to close off this stream. Bye, guys. Mwah. And